Good morning, everybody. How you doing? I hope you're well. And sorry, I've been a little bit quiet. I have been at Into the World Festival, and actually, I have two prayers to share with you today. One was for Friday, which was when we did the opening ceremony for Beltaine or Beltaine Fire Festival Into the World, and the other is come through today, and they're both to do with the sacred fire. They're both to do with the power of transformation. So hello, Elisabeth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to start with the first one, then do a little narrative on it, and then I'll move on to the second one as well, because I feel the one does reflect the other. And I've just had the most amazing weekend. It's been so Mayday, so about Beltaine, so about power of moving from potential to conception. And no, I'm not pregnant, but this whole idea of actually being able to move out of the field of possibility into that state of what is it I really want to co-create, and stepping forward and co-creating that and being with others that wish to co-create it too. So that's the whole beauty, is that when you align with your divine, you firstly have to set your vibration, then see who's going to be joining you with that. And it can take a little while, it can feel a little lonely, but you will get there. So Friday the 3rd of May. Good morning, diamonds. Expansion and contraction are both required in the process of birthing through the sacred fire that burns away all that is ready to die, to allow resurrection and new wings to fly, to new heights to be formed from the ashes of the old. So if you find you're suffering, give up the struggle of keeping your old identity. Something must die in order for you to be reborn. So take the time to honor and mourn all that has kept you where you are. Then let go with love and embrace. I am a rising star. I am that I am. Okay, so often the whole point with that one is that we end up believing that we want something, but we're still mourning aspects of our being. We're still mourning parts of us that we once were very, very attached to being. So it could be relationships that we're attached to. Thank you for the hearts and the smiles and everything. So it could be something that we're attached to, a person, a situation, a relationship, but ultimately it's a version of ourselves that we are attached to, that we won't let go of. So when we say, I'm ready for something new, but actually you say you're choosing grace and ease, for example, but you're used to struggling in certain areas of your life. What does those areas of your life look like if you're not struggling? But you're so attached to that struggle that actually you have no idea, because you're just used to showing up expecting the struggle. So you have to allow that part of you that's used to struggling in that relationship or that scenario or that setup to die. And that is something that we find very difficult. We're attached to all aspects of our being, whether they're welcome or not, because our sense of who we are is attached to them. So if you're saying, okay, I'm going to let a part of me die, you're basically saying, well, it's not an important part of me. It wasn't worth living in the first place. It brings up all sorts of things, right? But ultimately, you have got to make space for the new. And we just really struggle with making space for the new, because we are so attached to who we once were. Once upon a time, people knew me for pregnancy yoga. Everybody in Croydon knew me for pregnancy yoga. In central London, people knew me for pregnancy yoga. That's what I was. I was Rosie, the person who did pregnancy yoga. These days, most people don't really attach my name to that in such a same way anymore. It might be through Birthlight, it might be through the teacher trainings, but do you see what I mean? Like, I do lots of other things now. I had to let go of that identity. The same as, once upon a time, all I did was enjoy yoga, and now I have RozyGlow. And it's like, once upon a time I was a mother, I was a single mother, and that's all I was. And it's like, okay, we move into all these other aspects of our being that we embrace. We say, well, okay, I'm now the mother of a young adult. I'm now stepping into my power as a woman, beyond just being a title of whatever that title is. So be aware of the titles you currently have, and allow yourself to take inventory of the ones you actually want to keep and the ones you want to let go of. And bear in mind that the ones that you want to let go of, even though part of you wants to let go of them, you are still attached to them. Okay, so it's being able to mourn and to love and to respect and to say, okay, you've served me. You've served a pattern in my life. You've served something that I wanted to be connected to experience, to know. So that's just one aspect. I'm going to read you the other prayer now, because so Saturday the 4th to Monday the 6th, there were no prayers. And that's because my whole life was a prayer at that moment. But we've come to the other side of it. And this is where we have Tuesday the 7th of May. Good morning, diamonds. How are we on this blessed day, renewed by the fire of Beltaine? The cycle of death and resurrection is one that allows for soulful reflection. What must I let die in order to birth? Aspects of my being, desiring to expand my perception of self-worth and sense of self beyond duality. I am so blessed and I am free to be and choose transparency. So there is nowhere to hide the little me that wishes to condemn and judge, stuck in self-righteous narratives. Unity comes from into me see. Blessed with love, all is welcome, come and be. The sigh of relief that comes when I feel what I have learned is valid, and there is always more to know. For now I choose to nurture my soul, and anything that wishes to leave is truly loved, and let go of. The alignment I seek is the highest good of all. I am that I am. So what is this about? Well, basically, again, when we look at these aspects of ourselves that are small, that are limited in their perception, they hold on so strongly to what they know, right? Because what they know defines who they are. So this is where you start getting into arguments about who's right and who's wrong and who should, worshipping, how we worship source, how we honor the directions, how we, whatever it is that we show up for, what we've learned is the right way. It has to be the right way because it's the way we learn it, right? And then it's like, okay, well, what if it isn't? What if there's another way of looking at this? Because there always is another way of looking at it. What if there's more than another way of looking at this? What if what I believe, what I've learned, what I've been taught is valid, and then there are more extensions of that validity all around? So ever increasing, consensual, what they called, ever increasing circles. So you just expand and expand and expand. And this is it. Welcome everybody who's here. Thank you. So allowing what you've known to be valid, to be okay, and to know there is more to that as well, and to expand into learning more all the time from everyone around you. This is where we get free. This is where intimacy stops being scary. This is when we're happy to go, oh, you know what, I had it down like this, but it's really interesting, this take that you've given for me. It really expands it for me. And something I didn't think was that important, I can see probably has more validity to it than I realized. So you just keep expanding, you keep expanding. Again, I'll read it one more time. So Beltaine, if you haven't yet checked out my new moon meditation that was last night, please check it out, because I go into quite a lot of what Beltaine is all about. And really, it's the bright fire. It's all about us living in the most fertile time of the year. Certainly in the Northern Hemisphere. We're in the Northern Hemisphere. I always get so confused. So this is the time when really everything is prolifically waiting to propagate. And we want to be opening up to the abundance that is happening, and also the seeds that we're planting now that are going to be ripe in midsummer, Letha, and then towards the end of the summer, the harvest. This is all about us basically owning how we've come forward, what we've intended through the autumn and the winter months, and then what has borne fruit for us, and where we're then going to refine and move forward. We're all moving into the greatest version of ourselves, right? We're all stepping up to be the greatest version of ourselves. Those who are signed up to RozyGlow, those who are signed up to consciousness. So what we're doing is refining what that means. And when we're around others in community, I often see people striving for a real sense of community and striving for a real sense of belonging, but there's still so much separation, segregation. It's them against us. It's, I don't know how many children jumped over the fire yesterday asking for everybody in the world to be vegan. And again, I'm like, wow, where did that perspective come from? That must be coming from mummy and daddy or someone around. And it's like, maybe that is the answer. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's that we actually just minimize suffering. Maybe it's that we learn to treat every creature with respect. Maybe we learn to treat all resources on the planet with respect. There's constant evolution of how to actually see things. But the invitation here is to allow within you the judgment, the self-criticism, the judgment, the self-criticism, the fear to die, to be transmuted into passion, into desire, into love. So one more time. Good morning, diamonds. How are we on this blessed day, renewed by the fire of Beltaine? The cycle of death and resurrection is one that allows for soulful reflection. What must I let die in order to birth? Aspects of my being desiring to expand my perception of self-worth and sense of self beyond duality. I am so blessed and I am free To be and choose transparency. So there is nowhere to hide the little me that wishes to condemn and judge, stuck in self-righteous narratives. Unity comes from into me see. Blessed with love, all is welcome, come and be. The sigh of relief that comes when I feel what I have learned is valid, and there is always more to know. For now I choose to nurture my soul, and anything that wishes to leave is truly loved, and let go of. The alignment I seek is the highest good of all. I am that I am. No drama, grace and ease. Let stuff go that ain't aligned with the highest good of all, and let it go knowing it is deeply loved and accepted and appreciated and welcomed. But if it's not in alignment, it's not in alignment. So it has the choice to step up into alignment or to go bye-bye, go somewhere else. That's the choice, okay? So I'll leave it there. I said you lots and lots of love. Have a beautiful, blessed day. And there'll be more from me during the week. Take care. Bye.